alright.
Was it? The weekend just gone. The weather was good. How's everyone feeling though?
It was still a bit chilly though.
It was alright, man.
No, it was quite warm. It was quite warm.
It was gassed. It felt like
Saturday
summer.
was warm. Saturday was warm.
It didn't feel like
It was
summer.
really, I went out without a jacket.
Come out the yard.
I did. Saturday was warm. Did you go outside?
That's pushing it.
I did.
That's pushing
No,
it.
Saturday was actually hot.
Saturday was hot, man.
No, but it was warm.
No, it
but
was
in the
actually
evening.
like without your jacket weather.
No, but during the evening.
I wouldn't say that because your neck's still got to be protected.
During
boy.
the evening,
No,
it got a
during
bit
the
chilly.
day it was actually
But I
hot.
feel like everyone's forgetting it's still winter.
No, but did
So
you
it's
go
cold.
outside?
Yeah, it's coming to the end of winter.
It was
I
actually
think.
hot.
I think it was
No,
hot when
during-
the sun
During the
was
day
on
now,
you.
it's like the sun's out.
When the
It's
sun-
Yeah, but that's the kind of weather that makes you feel sick.
It's not blitz, but it's still
If you
cold.
stood under a tree, you'd be freezing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're under a tree. It's colder
That's what I'm saying.
down
But
there.
in summer, if you're under a tree, that breeze feels nice.
Yeah, SS Island.
I think it's a little bit of sun, it's a bit cold, you know. Because I was
sun is a little bit
running. What's a little running? It was quite warm, you know.
You man are funny. You man are funny.
It was fairly warm. It was fairly warm.
But it was good. It was good. Yes,
everyone has-
Saturday and Sunday.
We're getting closer to spring.
Do you know? Is it just me or like does it actually look like we're getting to like seeing some light at the end of this tunnel? I don't know. Is it- or
What,
is
this
it just me?
COVID tunnel?
Yeah, there's lockdown.
I mean,
tunnel.
we're hearing,
I don't know.
but it's actually
It
true.
speaks tomorrow, innit?
I feel like it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's speaking.
I
Yeah,
feel like it's
speaking.
gonna be good, man. I'm actually anticipating.
What, coming
good
out?
things.
I don't know.
Yeah, you
No,
reckon?
I think we're gradually gonna come out. Let's not expect too much.
Would
from
you
it.
agree that we're seeing some light? I don't know.
I think there's definitely
there's a
some
bit of
light.
light.
I think it's light, but it's very distant. I don't see
I don't
us
want to have
coming
any
out of this.
expectation. I'm just trying to go with
I'm
the
not
flow.
hoping for too much, but
Yeah,
listen, if I can meet up with my friends outside at the park, I'm more than alright with that.
I just think that
Park in March, you know.
In the
It's
bikiniki.
alright, man.
You want to do
It's alright.
bikinikis. That's
I think actually they've said you can go you can meet up to sit on a bench, but it can't be, you can't mix, still can't mix.
It's always these
So who am I meeting?
ridiculous.
You go sit on the bench with your family.
No, but we can do that now.
Picnic.
What's the difference?
on the
What
bench.
Pardon, can you do that now?
What about the grass?
Yeah, you
Right,
could go
well,
out. You could go
you
outside
have
with
a
your
picnic.
household.
No, not really. No household mixing allowed.
Household members.
Oh, members, but we're talking about mixing with other households.
You can.
I don't even know.
One person, you can.
But this time he's saying he can, but you have to be on the bench.
You've been able to do that.
Oh, you go for a picnic.
Yeah.
Get off the bench.
You man are funny. You man are
God damn,
funny.
get off the bench.
I just think that we have to get used to like us going in and out of these rules. So like they'll give rules. let us
We've
out
been
for a
in and
little
out
bit.
for so
seeing
long.
as last year worked in their opinion, I think that that's going to continue.
It didn't
And
work
that-
though. Did
The
it?
reason why I
It's
say
gonna
the
be
reason
the
why I
new
think
normal.
the reason why I think we're reaching it, we're gonna see some light is because I'm just looking at people's mindsets now compared to the first lockdown, and I have to say, like, even when you look at the timeline, you know, there's been a bit of positive news. Like, people are buying houses, people are trying to, you know, continue with their businesses. It's like no one's really. It's like everyone's finally decided. Listen, I'm not gonna let this get to me. I'm gonna do what I need to do. Do you know what I'm saying? And when you look outside, like I was driving through Tower Bridge, you know, Saturday, Sunday, and like you can actually see there's a lot of people outside just thinking, you know what, I've been at home all this time. I'm just gonna come out. I'm gonna come out. So hopefully, hopefully we can have a summer. They're talking about vaccinating everyone. And hopefully, we can finally have a summer.
But we're human beings, isn't it? Human beings are adaptable. We just don't like change.
Who's
But
taking the
once it's
vaccine?
forced
I like that.
upon
I like
us,
that.
we get on it.
Human beings are
you
adaptable.
preach,
We
man.
just don't like change.
Everybody
Big up.
Who's taking the vaccine?
Do you know what? Funny enough, I got a text actually.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Are you vulnerable?
No.
Oh.
I just got a text from.
She was.
I just got a text
What?
from the NHS asking me whether I'm ready to come in for a vaccine, to get a vaccine.
Are you ready?
And it's that soon.
Are you ready?
Within 2 days.
Are you ready?
Literally, the booking was there.
Are you ready?
No,
Boy.
My thing
I
is,
don't know.
my
Do you know
thing.
what? I don't know if I'm ready to get the vaccine actually.
Fair.
Boy.
Fair enough, you're in your own time. But my thing has been.
She sounds like she's gonna take it. Go on.
No, but my thing has been
what's the
because there's
worst
two
that can
doses. There's two doses
Yeah.
that you need to have.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they're giving people the first dose and saying the second one's not available until some don't even know when.
What's the first
So-
one? The
I don't know what it is, but you're meant to have two doses. And it's only meant to be a couple weeks apart, and some people have been waiting for so long and they've had the first dose already. So I think it's just with the new variant, I think they're gonna have to keep developing the vaccine. So it's like, if I take this vaccine now, and with all these new variants, does that even cover me
for like all these other things, like the Mitcham variant,
CR4.
There's like a variant.
Get away from
the
CR4.
Brixton variant, the Streatham variant. Like,
I also think
Nigerian variant. My
The
goodness.
Peckham variant.
Do you know what? Do you know what's interesting? It's funny how all these variants are from like countries that are like
In
do you know what I mean?
Africa.
Like in Africa or like Asia.
No,
somewhere.
do you know what? Because they want Africa to be involved so bad because it hasn't hit Africa
They can't
as
believe
bad
it.
as it's hit like the
They
rest of the
can't
world.
believe it.
They just want
it's like
Africa
all
to
these
get
variants. I'm
involved.
thinking, where's like the French variant, like or the Romanian.
It's like when
variant?
they didn't find any cases in Africa, they were like, how? They just wanted cases in
They needed
Africa.
answers.
But then there was this thing where they were saying how they're just trying to push the vaccination on ethnic minorities because ethnic minorities are not really going to get this vaccine and they're quite worried. Like, for example, I saw something where, is it Prince Charles? Prince Charles said something about why are ethnic minorities sort of turning a blind eye and not wanting to go and get a vaccine. And then now, ethnic minorities, sometimes we can be a bit ignorant.
Yeah.
In thinking that everything is about racism or everyone's out to get
Trying
us.
to kill us.
I'm not saying no one's out to get you, but have you really educated yourself
That's
enough
the problem, though,
to
with
say
us
what you're
ethnic
saying?
minorities. We like to take on secondary information as if it's primary and believe that as facts. Nobody actually likes to pick up a book if they hear something and read it or go and get their own first-hand research. Everybody just hears something and then they start bouche à l'oreille, passing it on.
Bouche à l'oreille.
On that bush
Get this woman a rice.
Having said that, everyone's probably wondering, hold on, who's this coming out with
Who are you?
My God.
Who's this?
I've
But
got
you know
goosebumps.
But yeah. Obviously, those of you, you lot are fun. You lot are
What
fun.
does that mean?
What's that mean?
Bouche à l'oreille means like
Mouth to your
mouth
ears.
to mouth to ears, and it's so Chinese whispers.
Oh, what's that? What's that?
It's the
Spanish?
mouth. It's the
No,
mouth.
it's French.
It's
Oh, it's French, yeah. Okay.
Is it French or
okay.
Francais?
Parlez-vous français?
Shares my grounds.
Okay, so that makes sense. Obviously, some of you wondering. Obviously, tonight we got a special guest. So obviously, just gonna introduce her quickly. Someone special because you lot wondered like bouche à l'oreille, all of that voulez-vous,
Bouche de français.
français.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Special.
But
one.
if we're gonna introduce her, I suggest we might as well just go into the intro.
Oh yeah, the intro. Oh crap.
Might as well.
Yeah.
Why don't we?
We've got a brioche babe among us.
So as usual, people, you know
We've
what's
got
happening, man. It's GK.
I'm unique.
Oh yes, Big Jono.
Yeah, it's Randy Rand.
And as usual, we've got our hitters at the back, but today we've got two. We don't know where the other one's gone. We got
Rena Mimi.
Nivy Nibs.
And this is no.
Hey, bouche à l'oreille,
Rewind.
croissant,
We gotta
parlez-vous
introduce this
français,
brioche babe.
escargot, Eurostar, baguette, fromage,
Paris.
pain au chocolat. We
My
have
goodness.
got
She sues bois.
chez mes grand-mères,
La natation.
natation, Paris,
Okay.
Lyonnais.
Go on, Miss Miss.
We got
Made in Paris.
And this is
Be my guest.
Parlez-vous français, bouche à l'oreille.
Yeah.
lovely. So, lovely.
Welcome, man. Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you
Welcome
for
to the
having
show.
me.
Welcome.
How'd you feel?
I feel good. I feel welcome. I feel ready.
She feels welcome,
Ready
man.
for what?
Carrefour.
What do you feel ready for?
Hey, that's
you
what's
ready
up. That's what's up. Nah, but welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. How's France, man? We say you just come from over there, so.
Yeah, France is great. You know, confinement and all.
Are you allowed to be here?
Yeah, for real. Wait, is it not part of the red zone?
No.
Oh, okay. Because I thought, wow, you got that one.
You what, mate?
A bag 7 to
I see
drop.
they put Congo on the red zone. Though.
A bag.
So, countries like Congo, the Caribbean,
They just hate us.
South,
that's it.
basically the Central African Republic and all
South
anything
Africa.
below it. So Zimbabwe,
South Africa's understandable because there was a new variant from there
Right.
not long ago.
Wow.
And that's in
It's
CR4.
funny,
But the question is whether that new variant came from here.
Who knows?
No one will ever know.
Because the UK's borders have never really been
variant.
closed.
It
You know
don't
what I
matter,
mean?
but
People have
it's
been
in
able to
CR4.
travel in and out.
For real. I'm just thinking, man. Like, it's crazy how this. What about Italy? Is Italy in the red zone?
I'm not too sure.
Yeah, what happened for Italy though?
Yeah, like Portugal and all them places there. Because
I feel like they are. But
I need to check. We need to check Google's
Isn't
friend.
there 30? Is it 33?
There's 33 at the moment. Yeah.
Has it been lifted in
33
Italy? The
countries.
COVID
Yeah.
stuff.
I don't know, but I
But
know.
they had it. I remember the first one. They had the.
But within the EU, you can
Let that
travel.
one slide.
I mean Italy
Well,
in
no,
general.
EU,
though.
no, you lot aren't, but I live
Italia.
in the EU. So in the EU,
What?
we have freedom of travel. You're just not allowed to go to international travel without compelling reasons.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Well, there's quite a few countries here.
Yeah, there's quite a few countries.
Some of them are said. Should I read them out?
Well, not all 30 of them, but we're more interested to know if there's anyone from Europe.
Anyone from Europe?
The EU.
No, there's no one.
No,
from
because
Europe here.
What?
international travel from Europe is banned unless you have compelling reasons.
Compelling.
Like I said, they just hate.
So
She's
like a
not playing today.
funeral, if you have like a medical reason to be here, or if you have to come here to look after
Word.
like a loved one,
Word.
that's a compelling reason.
Word.
No, yeah, it's just countries like Angola.
But most countries are like
Most
off-
African countries,
most hot
basically.
countries, yeah.
They're trying to get us. This is what we're talking
African,
about. They're trying to get us.
So who's taking the vaccine then?
Yeah, as we were saying, actually, as we were saying,
I think
don't know.
I'm gonna wait.
I
I'm
feel
gonna
like
wait.
I
I
need
need
to-
to see it played out a bit more.
I think, yeah.
I feel like, do you know what? I feel like it's gonna come to that though, especially with like
For travel, yes.
I feel
hearing
like
no jab,
maybe
no
not in
job.
the UK, but I feel like the countries that you are traveling to are gonna require you to be vaccinated.
It's already an obligation
before
to travel with a COVID test. You can't travel without one. They're actually turning people away at the border if you don't have one.
So the COVID vaccine passport. You in agreement to that? You think it's some conspiracy, Illuminati kind of thing?
Just like the yellow.
It's just
I was
like
gonna
yellow
say it's just
fever.
like a normal vaccination.
I think they're out
book.
to get us.
Yeah, it's like a vaccination.
I don't think that.
It's like
I think that they
5G,
just. I
Gary.
think they're calling it a COVID book because they want to single it out, but in effect, it's just a vaccination book. Just like when you travel to certain countries, you need like a yellow fever, rabies, blah blah blah. It's the same thing.
Yeah, same thing, man.
Sorry, Ray.
Yeah,
What?
if you go to South Africa, you need a rabies
Rabies.
injection.
Oh, did you? I went to South Africa just for my passport. I didn't know. I needed.
When was that though?
2010.
Yeah, I went in 2015. I needed a rabies shot.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
What, just in case you get bitten by a dog? Yeah, them dogs are. Wow.
Rabies.
Rabies. What's that? A dog? Like, okay.
Dogs on the get.
Dogs.
So,
mice.
all right, cool. So, let's go. Let's do a round then. Who's taking the vaccine? Let's start. Raina, Mimi?
I would say, I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
GK?
I don't know, mate.
Unique?
I think I will eventually.
You taking that vaccine?
Eventually.
You taking that vaccine?
If it comes to it, if it restricts me from traveling, I'll take
You
it.
taking that vaccine?
Because I'm trying to get out.
So, you're trying to take that vaccine?
Trying to get
Go
out.
Devon.
You know what? There
Literally.
actually are some nice spots.
How
in the
long?
UK,
how
though.
long? How long are you gonna keep traveling?
UK
around?
is dead out.
It's dead
No,
out.
there's
Right.
some nice
You got
spots.
Cornwall, you got Devon.
Yeah, you've got
Yeah,
nice
do you know
joints,
what?
but
I
right
feel
now
like
with everything
UK's
that's
got
closed,
some-
where can we
Yeah,
go?
are you gonna do that all your life?
You got Butlins.
Possibly.
You got Welsh landscape.
All right, cool. Let's do the. So, Madeinpari? You taking that?
Eventually, I think I have to
Alright.
see it played out.
So, that's a maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
JK?
Maybe.
Boy, me, myself, it is what it is.
Yes, I will.
You were taking that vaccine. You got that text already, innit?
Yeah.
Boy.
They're coming.
Boy. But so all in all, I don't know, to people watching, I think, just use your own, I don't know, do some research and
So as parents, would
Yeah.
you, if they said now kids are having it, would you let your kids have it?
that's a sticky one still. I don't know, that's a sticky one because I don't know. I really don't know. I've like Madeinpari said, I'm gonna have to see it played out. I don't know.
But then everyone's different. Everyone reacts to it
I'll have to
differently.
get it first. And
I
then
think.
see whether-
Oh, sacrifice.
But that
yourself.
doesn't even
But you might
determine
react to
how
it
your child will
differently.
react to it.
That's a good one.
Because you're an
Because
adult and a
everyone's
child
different.
is different.
Yeah,
I think,
Yeah.
and I feel like they haven't even rolled it out on children yet, unless I'm mistaken. Anyone correct
Because
me.
I mean, I'm assuming they think that children's immune
Immune.
Now,
systems
I was just
are
saying,
strong enough.
like, should it be?
Yeah, it's a
happen to
good
be
question
that,
because
you
it
know?
is something
I
to
think
think
it will be
about.
alright. I
Because
just-
it's our children that have to be worried about these things because we're the ones that are raising the children of this COVID generation now.
Well, they're saying that there's about 15 million people that have taken it already.
Yeah.
So
15
Well, we
million.
know, we
That's
know
a
that
lot of
their
people.
stats are a
That's a
bit.
lot of people. What's the
Well,
UK's
well,
population?
UK.
UK. and
What's the UK's
Yeah.
population?
Exactly.
I'm gonna Google it.
But then my thing is, obviously, saying this, I'm not a medical expert or anything. Or I don't know what it takes to create a vaccine or whatever.
66.65 million people in 2019. Sorry. Go on,
2019.
the population, UK.
Oh.
And 15
Yeah,
million have taken it.
Like for you, because my thing is just these two doses that
Just under
go hand in
10%.
hand with each other. Why is it that they've been able to create the first one, But if they're meant to be paired up, why were they not being created at the same time?
But most vaccines are first shot, second shot.
Yeah, but it's
you get a booster, but usually your booster is, you're told to come back in 5-10 years to get that booster shot. You're never told that it's 2 shots straight away. You just know that you have to come back for a booster shot.
not straight away, because they said obviously you need a couple weeks.
Yeah, but
until
I
you get
feel
the
like
second
it's.
one.
I think it's more of a thing where they want to see whether people react to it in a negative way. If people drop off and die, then they're not going to give people the second shot because it doesn't work. But if that's the reason why I think that Boris is now starting to release the reins on everybody's lockdown right now to see, because right now this vaccine that they've given everyone, I think it's going to take at least
So you think they're trying to let
three,
us
4
out
months
to see what they
yeah
react
to
like.
see whether those that have
They're
taken
gonna
the
have to, though. They're
vaccine those that have taken
Told
the
you they're getting
vaccine
us, bruv.
to
They're
see
coming.
whether them
Herd immunity,
like with all of us blending together, is there a
Jeez.
decrease or an increase in the spread of this COVID?
Okay,
That's what I think. That's what I think.
So they are trying to get us then.
No, I think it
This is
makes
what I mean,
sense
bruv. This
because
is what I'm talking
otherwise,
about.
if everyone's in their houses, you're not
Yeah.
really gonna know whether
And
or
it
not
buys
the
them
vaccine
time.
works.
They're getting us, bro.
Fair
They
enough.
say you
Because
gotta come up quick, innit? Let's see how
creating
this
these
thing
vaccines are expensive, you know, like
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and like right now they're giving us free COVID tests, but it's already a thing. Like when I booked my ticket, I was told to buy a PCR test, which is £210.
No way.
Yeah,
class?
you have to buy a PCR test, and you have to take a COVID test twice. So you take a COVID test.
What,
on day-
$250 each time?
No, you pay $210, and $210 will give you a COVID test on day 2, day 8. You send it back to them, and then they send you a medically fit certificate to say you're COVID free.
Cool.
For £210. That's it's through
Then if
everybody
you
that's
think
coming.
about it, you've been
Everyone's
getting
coming through the
free COVID
border.
tests, so that's probably approximately how much they cost.
But it's only the UK that's doing that, because in France there's COVID centres everywhere,
The
and
UK
no one's paying.
bumps us for
These
everything.
tests are
I don't
free.
know.
The UK.
You get what I'm
is-
saying?
No,
These
no,
tests-
but you
we're not
see,
paying for it.
no, we're not paying for it. But what you're saying is to get the one that you can travel with. That's a 210 one,
It's
isn't
the
it?
same test. It's a PCR test.
Oh,
It's the same
for real,
test.
'cause apparently
It's
you
just
can't
that
travel with the NHS one.
It's just that they're using the
Yeah, you gotta do private.
restriction of travel, and they're basically threatening you and say if you don't have this test, you can't come through. I used the free test and I got through with it.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, it must depend on where you're coming from then. It must all
I just think
depend on
you
where
just
you're
got to know how
coming
to
from.
talk to the border officers.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real. That's crazy. Nah, man, do you know what it is? Like, I'll just like to say to everyone, just use your discretion, innit? Just use your discretion. Like, if it is what it is, like, if you want to take it, then you take it. If you don't want to take it, then boy, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
Fair enough.
On
That's,
that, she's going back to Paris already.
Au revoir.
She's gone back.
mademoiselle.
She's gone back to Paris already, bro. That's crazy.
Shallow Ray.
Yeah. Nah, obviously she coming back. She gotta do what she gotta do. But no, that goes in hand though. Like, do you know what? In talking about that, do you think then black people should educate themselves more about this vaccine? And then
I think black people should
I think not
educate
just
themselves
black
about
people.
everything.
I think people in
Everyone
general.
in
People, yeah,
general,
people.
yeah.
Educate
Yeah,
themselves.
Because everyone seems to think they are, you have people saying things just because, and you have people imposing their opinions on other people as if it's facts, but it's not actual facts. Unless you have something to prove for it, then it's not facts. It's just your opinion. Because how you have people, don't take the vaccine. It's they're just targeting ethnic minority people, blah blah blah. But what do you have to show for it?
Tion Wayne had something to say about that.
What do you say?
Talk like they work in the government.
No, he was basically saying the same thing. He was saying, why is it that people are so against it? Like, what's your reason? Like, if you're going to say no, at least make an educated decision.
Yeah.
Don't just say no because some blog told you to
Yeah.
say
They're
no.
killing people, yeah.
Like,
I hear
5G.
that, I hear that.
I saw one thing on WhatsApp the other day. It was basically saying all you have to do is something about pH levels and stuff to cure the virus, bro.
What?
Something
Saying
about some
avoid
pH
avocados.
levels.
Garlic.
No, not even
Slow.
garlic. Talking about like lemons.
That's
The
crazy.
coronavirus. Yeah, talking about some pH levels and saying all you have to do is just balance out the pH levels and you're good to go, bro.
Realistically,
Madness.
that is a truthful thing.
That ain't gonna save you from
What?
It's not going to save you from COVID, but it is going to help your immune system work better, because your hormones, if you're stressed, your body is more vulnerable to illnesses and stuff like.
It's true. I
For
agree.
example, if
I
you're
agree.
stressed, you're more prone to getting ill. You're more prone to having migraines, and when one part of your immune system is low, you are more vulnerable to becoming ill, and it's kind of like spiritually, innit? If you're vulnerable on one side, you open the door to the devil. So it's the same thing, innit? Like
Hallelujah.
it's like it's a mind over matter thing.
Amen.
You get what I'm saying? So obviously, if your hormonal system is high, like which is your pH, pH levels are high. It means that your immune system's always also going to be high.
Glory.
Naturally.
Come on now.
What do they call them people that like stress so much about getting sick that they get sick?
Anxious people.
Hypochondriacs. Hypochondriacs.
Like you stress so much about getting sick
you
that
actually become ill.
Hypochlumia.
Hyperconduire. French.
Sycophobia.
Hyperconduire.
Just a disclaimer. Just a disclaimer. No one here is a nurse. We're just sharing.
Disclaimer.
Our opinion,
Yeah, like no one.
Sorry, I got disclaimer.
Just a disclaimer.
Disclaimer for the sick of
Disclaimer here, man. No one here is a nurse, or no one works.
Word.
We're just sharing, having a conversation, trying to, enlighten each other on the topic. So please, man, Instagram, don't shadow ban us, man, because we know how you guys move sometimes.
If you do hear anything off, we do have disclaimer. So.
I say disclaimer.
Please
I suffer from this.
I do think we need to definitely educate ourselves on the topic, because sometimes we're very. It's easy to share fear amongst the community, and people are just taking in information. That's why the media is so powerful. You know what I mean? That's why the media is so powerful, and it's good to have representation of the right people representing us up there, because you got anyone and everybody just going up there sharing opinions and passing it on as facts, and it's crazy, y'all. It's crazy.
Literally,
it's absolutely crazy, man. But yeah, but you know what? On the topic of black people educating themselves, Ashley Waters came out saying that he's taking the vaccine. Him and his family taking the vaccine.
I saw
and
that.
People were saying, and my man that does the hood updates on COVID. What's his name? Something like that. He said he's taking it, and people are getting onto him saying that he's being paid for it and stuff like that.
They said the same about Ashley Waters, isn't it? I
didn't actually watch the video, but I saw that. They say what do you reckon? And there was that meme there was that part about the movie. You remember the movie when he did the movie with Jazzy and them?
Yeah. I saw that.
What's sad about that is that there were people last year that were of the ethnic minority. I don't like to use the word BAME, but of the BAME community, and they were paid to come online and say, "Oh yeah, they're COVID positive" and stuff like that. And so now there's that stigma on genuine black
Idris Elba.
Idris Elba. There was a couple footballers that did the same thing.
But you know what? Is it just me
reach
though?
out to some people and pay them to do it?
Definitely.
Yeah, I think though for me it's
that's wrong.
They're coming from the angle of
do
you know what? I genuinely don't even think that's wrong, because I think they're coming from the angle of, well, they ain't gonna listen to us. Yeah, so you look like them, so they're gonna listen to you.
But have those people actually taken
what it is.
The vaccine themselves? Or
No,
are they
but
just
I don't
being
think
paid
it
to
matters.
advertise
I think it's listen. If you're a public figure, it's your job. You're people are gonna reach out to you for things like that. Listen, we're trying to get a message across. They're not listening to us. We need your help.
No, but then
that's what it is. I don't have to take it myself.
I feel like it's that issue, because there was the issue as well with influencers promoting some weight loss tea, but they weren't actually taking it themselves. It's like you're promoting something, but you haven't even tested it yourself. Especially with things like that, like you're promoting something to do with weight loss, but you haven't taken it yourself.
I think with that, it's like, imagine an advert of like a Shaw deodorant or something. They're gonna go, wow, all the ladies are gonna come to you if you spray this perfume. But
sure,
are they really spraying it though? It's just to me it's just advertising.
I kind of agree with what you're saying, but I feel like in this particular circumstance of them being based on a global pandemic and what they're promoting, it is not okay for them to use black people to market the spread of a disease, of a virus like that. Like there's different ways in which they could use those individuals to get to us. Stand on the posts and tell us that you guys need to stay at home, this is very deadly, blah blah blah. Slap facts on the TV. Do you know what I mean? Don't just put Idris Elba on the
I was gonna say that
on the Instagram fully smiling and that, like, yeah, I got the COVID, like, man got the cov, like, it just doesn't make no sense. And you're on the COVID and you're smiling and stuff, like, how are people supposed to take it seriously?
So casual, you know. He made it look so.
Who's gonna take it serious?
Just there, like, supporting him.
And that was early days as well. He made it look so casual.
Boris Johnson done the same thing. Like, Boris Johnson done the same thing, and then
Do you think my man was actually ill?
No.
He took it as far as going into hospital, bro.
We don't know though.
We don't know.
He looked a bit off to me though.
We don't know.
I'm not gonna lie. He did look a bit
No,
off.
but if you look at it, it just doesn't add up.
I just feel like
No, but you don't know.
Do you know the reason why? Yeah.
Thank you so much, all my nurses.
He went to. He said he was in ICU. He said he was in ICU. There's people spending about a good couple weeks. This guy was in there for like a week, couple days.
He was in there for a couple days.
ICU, you know, big ICU.
This is the thing. There's nothing that you can go to and say was he.
Do you know why? Do you know why I don't believe him? Especially now, because of the whole 20,000 deaths thing that he was talking about, and that now they're accepting that they've neglected this whole situation and they haven't really maintained it the way that they should have. They should have.
It is what it is, man. Let's go. English is not a first tongue. Let's go.
Like, I just feel like there's just, for somebody who himself experienced this COVID and like went to the worst case scenario, which was in ICU and whatever, you can't come out of that and then not have a better force of action, or you can't neglect it the way that they've neglected it.
As a prime minister, as someone who's there's certain things you cannot say or do in front of the TV.
I agree.
It's all, you have to carry yourself in a certain way, and there's certain things
I agree.
you can't say.
But then we live in the times of Donald Trump, where he doesn't carry himself like a president.
That's different. We're in the UK.
They're all part of the same.
So why not tell people the truth then? Why not tell people?
I think there's one thing we need to know about the media is that nothing is an accident in the media. It's even when they come on and say, I didn't really mean to say that. Everything on the media is calculated.
Agreed.
Every word they say is calculated, and it's to portray a certain, whatever message they're trying to get across. The words are carefully selected to get that message across in a certain way. So I feel like I'm sure there's a lot of things Boris would like to say, but he just can't.
Even the what was it? The Secretary of State when Piers Morgan was putting it on him, like, do you agree that you lot made a mistake? And he was just like, he could not answer and say no.
They'll always dodge it. They'll always try to not answer the question by looking like they're answering, but they're not really answering the question. And it's all part of media training, because these people get trained to know how to speak in front of a camera.
I don't feel like Boris has training.
Because they don't wake up and decide, today I'm going to say this. They actually have people write these scripts for them and tell them, this is what you're saying today. So...
No, it's facts. So on that though, obviously when you lot talking about when you lot talk about everything being calculated and that, you know, today we wanted to touch on something that's obviously sensitive enough, but we wanted to obviously make sure that we shed light on it, because I think it is ongoing, but I think it's something that's recently come to light with everyone. As you can see in the background, we've got different shades of all black people, but different shades. And unfortunately, in today's world, all of them, each and every single one of them will be treated differently. One of them will be treated in favour more than the other. So I wanted to just ask you lot, you know, as we're here talking about, as Unique mentioned about, I don't know, getting the right people. I think Madeinpari said it, getting the right people that look like us to come and say something so that we can buy into it. What are your thoughts as, you know, darker skinned women on colorism, you know, in this day and age? What are your thoughts on that? If I go with you.
Darker skinned women on colorism.
Chai.
What's your views on colorism as you know, as a darker skinned black woman? Have you ever experienced it? Would you understand?
I think,
because you know why I said that, because Madeinpari said the BAME or BAME. I don't necessarily agree with that term.
Neither do I. It's just you know, I just wanted to thought, okay, because that's the same. That's basically colorism. You know, right. So black, Asian, whatever. So what do you mean? Yeah. Like, we're all.
I think colorism is. I think colorism is like one of the. We do it to ourselves. It's one of those things.
Sometimes,
and it stresses me out. It stresses me out, especially with, like, you know, black women. right? You find yourself sometimes, you see someone who's black, they tell you they're black, but because their skin doesn't look like Made in Paris, for example, it's...
That skin
I don't know if you're really black,
Chocolate.
you know. Maybe like you've definitely got some kind of mix somewhere. I don't know if you're black. I don't understand. Why can't there be different shades of black? There's different shades of white. There's different shades of...
different shade of what?
There is.
Yeah.
There's
Olive,
people who are tan.
you have
Some,
pale.
some people are tan. Some people are some people are tan. They're olive.
Some people are red.
So why can't we be? Why can't there be a different shade of the? And it's always I find that it's always the black guys that go. It's the lighties. It's a complex. That's what it is. It's a complex.
It's definitely a complex.
I don't know. For me, it's the lighties. You know, like the lighties or just the light.
But then
are
I
you
saw
stupid
something.
or are you dumb?
Would you class lighties
one?
as black?
I think the second one.
Mixed race, to be exact. Mixed race. And when I mean mixed race, I mean mixed. Would you class?
It
you know
depends
how-
because not every
That's a
mixed race
deep one.
person's black.
Will
Because you
identify
know how-
themselves as that, innit? Yeah.
Well, yeah, would you class them as... Because obviously, you know how in America, they class them as black. Would you class them as black?
I have mixed race friends. They're mixed race, isn't it?
I think you're mixed race.
You're
You're
mixed
not
race.
black.
Yeah,
You're
you're
mixed
mixed
race.
race.
You're mixed
You've
race,
got black
but they
in you.
identify from both ends because that's what they are.
Yeah, you've got.
Well, I think
But
when
then
we
you have
say
people
when
who
we say
literally
black,
box them
yeah.
as black. And
Nah, you're mixed race.
I think when we say black, how I refer to a black person is you're 100% black. You know, you ain't got no white in you. You ain't got no black. You ain't got mixed.
That's
You're
too
just
diff- that's-
100%. Do you know what I mean?
I
I
don't
wouldn't.
believe that.
I personally wouldn't class a mixed race person as black.
So
Do
what
you know
about
what I
I
mean?
think they're mixed race.
Yeah, you're mixed race. You're
But they
not
still
black.
fall
You're
under
not
the
white.
category of,
You're mixed.
I'm a black,
Yeah.
of a minority
Mixed
group,
race,
yes.
minority, yeah.
Agreed.
No, because on the form,
They do.
on the
think that's
form,
wrong.
you will tick mix.
But
But they do have a box.
That's the
And
best
then-
way to put it.
But this group, this equal opportunities form thing has been changed. It's been
It's
mutated.
it's questionable.
If you go
innit?
back to okay, I'm 28 now. Let's go back
birthday.
20
Happy
years.
Happy birthday.
Let's go back 20 years, yeah, when let's say like some of our parents had reached here, probably even further back to that.
Yeah.
The equal opportunities form wasn't as complex as it is now. Now you even have a white group that's white other, white this, white that. You have a
Algerian
Chinese,
and that,
you have
yeah.
a Chinese group, you have Asian groups. Before it was just white or black. And if you was black, it was just black Caribbean, black African. No, there was no black other. Do you get what I'm saying?
What's black cover?
But isn't that based on the databases that they probably had?
Because
that
now
would
here
allow
they-
them to
here they-
know what the majority of people in the what majority of the population was.
I think it is that, but then I also think it's more on a case of diversity. There's a lot of like human rights have changed a lot of things in this country alone.
I want to know what black
Specifically,
cover is.
I'm saying this because I've now moved to another country where colorism is a problem.
Oh, is it, what's
here-
it? Okay, tell us about it. What's it-
Colorism
what
over
you
there's a
saying?
problem. Like this complex about light skin, dark
Oh,
skin
for
is a
real?
real thing over
Where's
there.
that in France?
Yeah, like you get,
Yeah.
like you get you. It's easier to like, for example, like in a nightclub. For example, I give that as a perfect example. You go into a club, black girls aren't rated. You're looked at as if you're just like basically like a sex worker or like you're basically there to finesse man. That's how you're looked at. And to be honest, like you said, we do it to ourselves because the majority of girls, I mean, those theories don't come from nowhere. Do you know what I mean? Like there's no smoke without fire. It means that there is women who go out there and live by that stereotype, and the majority speak for the minority. However, the minority groups, like the minority of us that don't have these
Selector.
that don't have these qualities, that go to a nightclub and can pay with their own pocket and have their money for their cab to go home and all of these things, and aren't there trying to fleece the richest man in the club. A man that has, but then you need like a bottom, obviously we can't swear on here, but a bottom bitch, which is the light skinned girl. So the light skinned girl is the bottom. That's what Americans call them, the bottom bitch, and she's the one that basically draws the man to your group.
Wow.
So she draws the man to your group. So you have a bottom.
Sorry, can you just be yourself?
Okay, a bottom bitch.
Oh, well. Oh,
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. You alright?
Be yourself. Yeah,
No,
go
that's
on.
okay. That's okay.
Alright, I was trying to work out the acronyms like BITC, Black International.
No, like a bottom bitch, and a
Yeah.
bottom bitch in a group is
No, yeah,
usually the
course.
light skinned person, like the light
Yeah,
skinned
sure,
girl.
yeah.
The light skinned girl who who basically leads the group of girls into a nightclub, and basically
how it
man
is?
will get drawn to the girl, the light skinned girl, and then the light skinned girl gets you on a table with all your brethrens.
Wow.
But then when but when men come to you and that, you see, like here, I feel like men here are polite, to be honest. Like the way that they but serious things. Like I didn't think that until I went there. And when I went there, like men here actually
Shout out the UK
feel like
man.
British boys are nice.
Yeah, British boys
Big up
are.
the UK
They
man,
have a
big
little
up
bit of.
everyone.
They have a little bit more game and class to them. Do you know what I mean?
What,
Like,
here,
yeah, like they talk
Shout out
to
the
you.
man there.
And
Big up the
obviously,
man them.
a man will read the room, but like out there, a man literally comes to you like he's like you basically are his. Do you know what I mean? Like he comes to you and he chats to you, and it's kind of like, oh, passe-moi ton numéro. Like, and it's just
What's
it's
that?
just, it's just a straight.
Hey, that sounds calm though. Prosperity numero.
It's not cute. Do you know what I mean? Because
What's that? Give me your number.
It's
Drop
like
me
you
your
don't have
number.
a choice, and if you
Hey, what's your WhatsApp, though?
if you try to say no, or if you try to basically give him them kind of looks like me and you are we're not. He's on some. You know how back in the day, man used to be like, oh, she's a slag anyway. Like that's how they are. Oh,
Yeah, but Frenchmen are like in 2007 anyway.
That's childish.
So it's childish. Like men out there, like I feel like here, even though there's nonces and like perverts that exist and stuff, I'm out there.
Man said, even though, you know.
Thanks for this.
But out there, like I just feel like
I am sorry.
like for example, like unconsented like relationships with boys isn't really like men don't really sit there and listen to the girls' feelings out there, especially a dark skinned girl. You don't really have a say.
Is it? That's
They
mad.
classify you
Yeah,
as a
and like
sex
girls
worker.
out there, like dark skinned girls out there, are viewed as clapped. Do you know what I mean? They're not really.
I'm glad you said that.
They're not really viewed as like beautiful black women.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. Is that why I see like? Is that why a lot of these black French footballers don't have black girls? Like
None of them do. Have
Yeah,
you, like name me
deep
one
it.
that has a black girlfriend.
it hurts me, you know. It actually.
Like,
hurts.
not even a black girlfriend, a black
like,
wife, a
yeah,
black wife.
yeah, black partner. Like,
And like even like some of, I feel like
Is it
there's
'cause of the
even that
stereotype?
complex here in the UK. Like I feel like those
Even here, I think.
French speaking, like French African speaking, so the francophone like African countries like Cote d'Ivoire, their baby mums are all of lighter complexes. They don't really go for the dark skinned women because of this stereotype that the dark skinned woman is aggressive. She's this, she's that.
I get
like
that.
she
And the
can't be
finesse your
beautiful.
peas, innit?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's
that-
like not all of us are like
The
that.
culture
Some
of
of us
bleaching
are,
amongst us. They're mad.
and that as well. Bleach in France. Let's don't
Oh, is it?
Have
They're
they not
mad.
banned it?
Bleaching,
No.
perming hair.
bleaching.
Yeah,
It's
no,
like
I saw something as well.
colours.
Actually, so there was a post that said, do you think like when women of color, black women, do all this contouring and stuff? It's like you're trying to make yourself look like you have European features. With like contouring your nose to make it look more pointy.
Do you know what?
And things like that.
What?
Making
I
your-
think that's ignorant, to be honest.
No,
Because
that's
if you
stupid,
don't
to be fair.
if you don't put on
I
make
see where they're coming from.
I
with that
think
one,
it's
you
stupid.
know.
I
Because
see
you
where you're
have
coming from.
girls, yeah.
What's contouring? Is that when you're trying to make your nose look
So
smaller?
you bring your
Like-
cheeks in.
Yeah.
Bring your cheeks in, make your nose look
Because it's
bigger
like
and more
it's been
skinny
normalized to
than
a
it
point
is.
where you lot. I mean, not you lot. Let me not say you lot. Certain girls are not happy within their own natural state. do
But
you
that's
know
a
what I mean?
small group of women, though. This
That's
is
what
the
I'm saying,
problem.
that's what I'm saying.
There's bare of
Certain.
us out here that are natural and are happy to be natural. We feel sexy in our skin. Like, but then there's and then the thing is that people need to remember, that makeup is.
It's meant to be an enhancement.
Yeah, it's an enhancement. Like, so yes, it's gonna have.
Yeah, but to some
change
people,
it.
makeup is transformation.
Right, and some people are contouring
Yeah,
on a Monday to Friday 9 to 5 thing, like
People
whereas some
making
of us
their noses
contour
smaller.
for occasions, which is what it's for. Do you know what I mean? Putting on a little bit of eyebrow and a little bit of lip liner on your lip ain't trying to be Kim Kardashian.
Yeah,
No, but this one was specifically talking about girls, like when you contour.
There's bare girls
where
that
you
do it.
look, yeah,
There's a
when
lot
you
of
literally make you to have Europe is to make yourself have European feet, because obviously like European, for example, women are the ones with the
noses, yeah.
thinner noses, pointy, more pointy, and
There's black girls with
all these things like that. But majority of black, it's usually you have big noses, big lips, and it's like you're almost shying away from all those features to fit in and look like those European people that you are speaking about.
Do you know what? That's funny you said that, because someone actually said to me one time, and this was at work. Someone said to me, "Oh, you have small lips for a black girl."
Oh, that's crazy.
Remember when we used to be
How'd
called
you react to
rubber
that?
lips?
Hey,
Do you remember
Char.
when people
How'd
used to
you
call
react
us
to that?
rubber lips?
Hey,
Do you know what?
Char.
It's one of those things where, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, it's one of those, like, you know when people are like, well, how can I call it, passive racism?
And you think about it after.
Yeah, you think about it after.
Like,
when I got home, I was like, I think when he said that, I was like, yeah, he said you, my lips don't smell.
Start practicing the argument.
And then when I got home, I was like, actually, I didn't appreciate what you said to me. And then I was saying all of that in the mirror. I was like, I don't appreciate that.
Bro.
Because first of all, that's rude.
There's actually a lot of things that happen.
I just think it's funny that like all of this stuff, like it's all criticism when a black woman wants to sit onto her and make it skinny and that, but it's not a criticism when a white woman wants to go and put wigs on and put cane row her hair and put single braids in,
culture appropriation, culture appropriation,
and she wants to be rapping in videos and twerking like she works in a strip club.
Do you know what? I think she said that. I've got a question.
It's
I've
annoying.
got a question.
It's always
to
a
you.
problem when it's black women
I've got a question
that
to
do the
you
same
lot,
things
yeah?
that every other woman's doing. So what?
You know how like as a community, as black people, we often complain that when people are stealing our culture and this and that and the other. What's your views on when?
Oh, you're right.
It's very cinematic, yeah. What's your views on like when? I always see it like obviously it's okay for a black person to paint a white face. We agree. We see that in costume parties, or for a black person to do rock and roll or whatever. That's obviously linked to white people. But the minute a white person does the same thing, the hair, the whatever, everyone goes crazy and start talking about cancelling them. I never get it. Like I never understand. Like what? Do you know what I mean? Like is it?
Can I answer
Yeah, like I never get it, man. Like
Can
me personally,
I personally feel like there's still a sensitivity to the hurt that black people have endured based on the hurt that white people have caused on black people.
Right.
Whereas we as black people have been grown to integrate and adapt to this white society. So therefore, it is never going to be seen as, it's never going to be frowned upon for us to put on costume and do the things that white people do. But for white people to do the things that we do can come across offensive, because once upon a time that stuff was offensive.
Right.
It was a race. Some of that stuff was racist, like playing in your face as black and stuff. It had a racist connotation to it.
Right.
Black people haven't had acts of racism against white people in such a activist way. So
I just wanted you to shed some light on that. You know what I mean? Because obviously, like, yeah, that's deep. It's deep. You said that. Yeah, man.
Like you said that. Can I ask you? Do you think black people will ever heal?
Do you know what it is? Yeah, I feel like we can heal, but it's a case of people being willing to actually educate themselves and learn. Because I feel like I was very much uptight.
Yeah, but why do we have to be the ones always learning and educating ourselves?
Because remember the
all
the stuff that we know, all the stuff that we've been taught based on the stuff that we know in this environment that we live in. Remember, we don't live in Africa, you know, where the education's raw and it's authentic to where we come from. We live in an Occidental society where we're being taught stuff about our own history. The stuff that they're choosing to tell us is
it's
what
not
they're
what
choosing
it
to
is.
tell us. So we need to know.
Do you know what I find?
Africa, do you think they're actually teaching them the
real
I
African?
feel like if you go to the HBCUs, you're getting taught.
What's the
historically black colleges, the college universities.
HBC. You came in ready with them acronyms.
We don't even have places like that, and that's why people like Stormzy, I feel like, is trying to do that in places like Cambridge, where he's trying to instill that black.
I think we're struggling. We're
I
don't think we'll ever like heal from it. But why? Because they keep doing it.
That's
why they keep doing it.
They just find different ways
of doing it. It's not like something that happened and we're trying to recover from it. It's something that's happening today, and it's
continuing to.
It's just taking a different form. They don't pack us into ships no more. They just tell you that your hair's too curly to be in like.
Because in France,
are you gonna fix that? It's just
France, you know that
it's
like,
a corporate.
You know that like people.
You know what I mean? Like
it can't work.
It takes a different form. Speaking of that, I remember one time I went into work and my hair was in an afro. When I mean everyone,
it's like a freak show, isn't it?
It was literally like a freak show. Oh my gosh, everyone coming to touch it. To see what it feels like.
Say you're a puppet in a show.
And like you said before, at first you think, okay, but when you sit down and actually think about it, it's like
racist, yeah.
HR.
It's literally like, wait, hold on.
HR, bro.
I had that once. You know what? I had an experience like that at work. I actually told the lady about herself because I went into work with a do-rag, yeah. Like my hair was mad, like messy. I went into work with a do-rag, and she goes to me, "Oh, why are you wearing this?" I was like, "What do you mean why am I wearing this?" She goes, "I don't like you with this on." I'm like, I don't get it. Am I wearing it to please you or?
You?
Like, it's mad.
It's protecting my hair.
Why would you say that? When you wear, if you were to wear like a headscarf or something, I wouldn't comment. So why are you commenting when it's me? Do you know what I mean?
Press that button for him, brother.
Like.
And did say? What did she say?
No.
What did she say? What can she say? She didn't say.
I guess not.
Where was she from?
Sometimes it's good to put people in their place, but I feel like there's not enough of us that do that. Even as a community in ourselves, we beef amongst ourselves. Even Africa as one continent, we don't even stand as one as Africans. Oh no, I'm West African. Oh no, I'm from this place. Oh, I'm from here. And then let's spread the community even bigger, and let's talk about the other black communities that we have in different parts of the world, like the Caribbean. Oh, Africa versus Jamaica. Oh, Africa versus the Caribbean.
Exactly. So in that though, that's what.
Like we need to be one in order for us to conquer this problem, and this is the problem. We don't have that.
It's funny you say that. Sorry to interrupt there. It's funny to say that because even as we want to touch on colorism, and which is, can I just read a definition according to the BBC? Is that alright? Can y'all let me? So I'll read a definition according to the BBC. Colorism, what the BBC calls is discrimination against dark-skinned people in favour of those lighter skinned from the same race. This has been receiving increasing attention and raising questions about why black and Asian people are, seen in less favored than everyone else. So I was just gonna say, like, for example, we experienced that recently, with that Candice woman, which was meant to lead on a documentary, and all of a sudden she was dropped for Rochelle Humes, and then that raised a big uproar on social media.
Yeah, because she was talking about colorism and she's mixed race.
Yeah, but I hear that though. But the thing is, how is that really helping us? Because obviously, yes, what the media has done is favoured Rochelle, who's light skinned. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, she's mixed race and that, but
would you not say it's because
she's still
more
black
in the media? She's a known face, maybe not because of racism.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's not always race that's the case. Sometimes they genuinely, in stuff like that, sometimes they will actually just look at the person.
But she's not suited for the role.
Do you think it wasn't to do with the colour of her skin?
Sometimes we overthink it.
I feel like what you said.
Sometimes it's not
media.
always.
I think it's media, and her colorism could have had an issue. But I feel like the girl shouldn't have been dropped. If anything, if Rochelle is more present in the media,
what was their
integrate her in
her
it?
being dropped was
their
at the same time as well.
What was their reason for dropping her?
There wasn't a reason.
There wasn't a reason.
But apparently she didn't sign a contract though. So that's another aspect. Apparently she was, there was no contract signed to say, yeah, this is your role. It was just a conversation. But she just feels like, it's happened too many times where she's dropped, in favour of a lighter skinned person. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So
sometimes you got to look at what's actually going on. All we can do is make assumptions from the outside. We don't actually know what's going on. All we can say is, she got dropped because of this, that race, blah, blah,
it's
blah.
True,
blah,
but
blah.
then colorism is something that's exterior. It's something that people see from the outside looking in.
Yeah, but do you know what's actually going on? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All we can do is make assumptions.
And in the media have to be very careful of this. I feel like, I was even talking to you about it earlier, and that I feel like since that people, now that social media, we have more access to it as members of the public, they try to make a conscious effort to do certain things like put black representations or Asian more of those representations in the media, but I feel like they're just doing it to blow smoke up our asses, because in reality, if it was up to them, they wouldn't.
I feel like though, isn't this like in like the issue of colorism? I think wasn't it? It was like last week. It was everyone was talking about it. I think wasn't it? Was it Zaha that said he wasn't going to take the knee no more?
Yeah. So he said he wasn't going to take the knee
because he feels like and he feels like we're just drawing attention to ourselves in terms of like, why do I need to wear a T-shirt that says Black Lives Matter for you to actually acknowledge that Black Lives Matter? Yeah. I feel like that's the same thing. You want to do something on colorism, do it. Yeah. The more we sit here and cry about, oh, that was my role. Do something about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, say, all right then, cool. If that's what you don't want to do, and we're gonna come together with my people and we're gonna do our own thing.
I agree.
we do that, the more we start doing that, the more they're gonna realize, okay, well then they don't need us, because crying about it is basically saying, I can't do that without
this
you.
is our problem
I was literally hoping to get that role. Now I can't do it. I get that it hurts.
We rely.
I get that it hurts, but we rely too much on these people. We really need to
when
start.
we can be building up our own.
Listen, we really need to start building our own.
We seek that. Do you know what, JK? Coming again. I like what you said there. We seek too much approval. You know what I'm trying to say? Because you know what, I was gonna ask you, ladies. Though, you know, we see less and less black people in on TV or in the media. But wouldn't you say though, with the rise of social media, you know, it's giving us a platform to say, look, if I'm big enough, like, cause some of these girls got a massive following. Do you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people now don't even watch TV. Young people don't really watch TV like that. They get most of the inspiration from YouTubers and content creators and stuff like that. So one thing this is my look on the Candice situation was, listen, if you're big enough to raise awareness on this thing, why don't you just do the same documentary, take the myth,
from your own perspective,
tell a story from your own perspective, take it to YouTube, which is open to anyone and everyone, and you have a massive following, and you know, make so much noise. Dave Chappelle did a massive mic drop on that the other day when he was on his show. He was having a madness going back and forth with Comedy Central, and he basically said, you know, he came out to the people because he understands that as people he has a following, and it's not just obviously not black people just following him, but as a black man he has a voice. So when he came out and said, listen, you lot boycott Comedy Central, and don't watch their thing, which then meant that the ratings went down, and then when Comedy Central saw that the ratings went down, which meant they can't make money, they gave him his money, paid him out, and he was able to take his content to Netflix. So what I'm saying is, instead of us, like Unique said, and I agree with that, you know what I'm saying? Instead of us crying about, obviously, they're not doing this for me, they're not doing that for me. If you're big enough, like you have enough following, like 100k, you listen, if you're in a position where you can say swipe up on Instagram, do you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, but listen,
you're big enough to go and make enough noise so that you can start your own thing. Obviously, they're gonna try and boycott you, but if it's done properly,
100%.
I'm not talking do it on some wily tip. I'm talking about if it's done properly, well structured. You know, you pay for the production, and you know, you do something that's good enough. I'm sure they will come for you. So, like for this now, she's cried about the whole situation, and then now what? That's my question. You've cried about the whole situation. You're saying this happened 3-4 times. Now what?
But like Mimi said, we don't actually know. Maybe there's stuff going on behind the woodworks. We don't know.
But now what will happen now?
That's what we don't know.
Do you know what I'm saying? Because she keeps trying to get approval. How are we crying about a system? How are we crying about trying to fit into a system that's not made for us anyway? You don't belong there, but you're crying. It's like they're saying, no, you're not welcome here. But we keep trying to force the door. You know what I'm saying? Like, why don't we do our own?
But the problem is with our people is that everyone talks too much and nobody does anything. Like too much talk, no action. Do you get what I'm saying? And I feel like people, the internet, the social medias that we have now, like he was talking about, like we could all come together. We have so much access. Like it's so much easier now. You don't need to go and book an appointment with someone, slide into a DM. But the problem is people are on the internet for the wrong reasons now. Everyone's clout chasing. You might slide into a DM, send a DM to somebody who you feel like you could collaborate with, but your DMs go to the bottom of the pile because you ain't nobody in this social media world.
It's true. Obviously, I do understand that we need representation on TV and stuff like that. We need
people just do things for clout these days. Like there's just people that just do things for the views, and it's like
it's mad.
Everyone just talks. Oh yeah, Black Lives Matter. Everybody went. Like a lot of people went to the marches.
Not knowing
just to
why
take pictures and slap it on Instagram.
Yeah, it's mad.
I like how you talked about that representation thing on TV though. Big up Big Nasty and Mo, the comedian, when they had their thing on Channel 4. It was proper.
Shout out Mo, shout out Big Nasty.
It was proper, bro.
Yeah, you reckon you like that?
Because they were themselves. Yeah, they were swearing, they were doing whatever. Like,
they didn't give a heck.
Yeah, it was raw. Like,
and you know what? Nasty said something about that, innit? He wanted production control. Like he wanted to do. Like you're asking him to make something for the community, and you're gonna create. Like you don't understand. Let me create something for my people. I know what they're like, and I know what they're gonna. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Do you know what? It's funny you said that, GK.
That's why YouTube is art, man.
Yeah, YouTube is the way. And I'm going to ask you though, you know what I'm saying? And what do you think of the UK representation of black males being too stereotypical?
like in movies and in this and that. What do you think of that?
I think
I'm glad you brought that up.
I'm so happy you brought that up.
I'm tired of it. Well, especially in the UK, like it's not just every single movie I see is all about like, yeah, we get the peas, like we're gonna like,
where's my peas,
I'm tired of it. Like,
there are people who talk like that.
No, but
that it's, listen.
I'm talking about the representation.
Can I say something? It's not every black male is not just a drug dealer in movies.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? We can play lawyers. We can play.
Perfect example.
We can play
a UK actor, Damson Idris, doing his thing, big in Hollywood, bro.
Is he not a drug dealer though? Like,
it just so happened about drug dealing, crack in the 80s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's not a drug dealer, but look what he's doing.
He was trying to tell a story. He was trying to tell a story. Yeah,
that was really
Snowfall.
good.
He was trying to tell a story through that thing. But it's like every single movie that's made in the UK or whatever, black boy is a drug dealer.
Yeah.
Gets stabbed or whatever.
Yeah,
I think
Do you not think it's a message to show younger people that this is
What message?
Are you gonna send them?
I feel like you know what
it's like what was that movie that came out in cinema that everyone
Top Boy or something?
No, Blue Story. Listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, they need to like stop it, because black boys are better than that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Black boys have a much bigger story to tell.
They're so intelligent.
Than just coming. Listen, it's not everybody that's coming out from the blocks and like all.
There's people coming from good
There's
homes,
actually
like.
black people that genuinely have good lives, good jobs, and stuff like that. And in fact, coming from the blocks doesn't necessarily mean that you're a part of a gang or anything like that. But I'm not gonna lie to you. Those things, those people sometimes like they. You know, you might have come up with the story with a great intention, yeah? And then these people approach you, all right, yeah, we really like that. And then suddenly it turns from you trying to raise awareness about, you know, black people struggling and, you know, the stabbings and stuff like that. It now turns into, look at them, that's what they do to each other, killing each other, that's all they know. Literally, I'm not going to lie to you. As a black person myself, I went to watch that story and I was scared in the cinema. I was literally like, this is mad. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's not the type of... And it was a good film. It was a really good film. I really enjoyed it. But it was just like, what are you enticing? No,
but at the end of that story though, he was encouraging. He became like a youth worker, support worker.
No, but a young person. The thing is, you gotta think about it. A young person's not gonna watch that and think. They're not gonna understand the message that you're trying to say.
There's a positive message to it at the end.
There was, but you have to be old enough to understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. Do you know what I'm saying? You have to be
like, if you show me that movie now, he became a youth worker at the end. That basically says to me, the black boys grow up, they get into gang activity or whatever, and at the end of it, they just become this average person.
Do you know what?
Right, just like in American films, they become informants or they become
so much more than that.
Even it's funny you say that, because even in the media, in a country where we have 66 point whatever, how many million people, and the black community is only about 3 or 4 million people. Like, even when you look at the representation in the media, in terms of how black people are targeted in terms of crime reporting, how is it that there's 66 million people and there's only 3-4 million people who are from the black or whatever minority? But whenever you're reporting a crime in terms of stabbing and stuff like that, it's black people. Right. I'm thinking, hold on a second. Exactly. So you're telling me in a country where we're supposed to be a minority and we're the only ones that are doing wrong?
What's everyone else doing?
What? And this is what
if we're doing the stabbings and the killings, what's everyone else
because
doing?
Do you know what's mad? Do you know that, like, the biggest, these movies don't lie, you know? Do you know the biggest, like, crack drug dealers and crack takers and all of that are actually the ones in power?
The head teachers, bro.
Do you know what I mean? It's actually the ones in power. Like the head teachers, the lawyers. They're the biggest drug dealers, you know.
White collar crime. It's so expensive for the average person.
Yeah.
They're the biggest drug dealers.
So you reckon because the media is a powerful tool, like, for example, in terms of the news and the movies and that, we need to do better in terms of representing the
what
black
the media does is it instills fear in people, which creates ignorance. So in these cities or these areas where these black people are portrayed to be hoodlums, I grew up in an area that I could call hood. And in that hood, it wasn't just black people. There was a big wad of white people too. There was a wad of Eastern Europeans. Like, each community has their hood. And but it's only black people that are portrayed because we're the dominant race that people see. Do you know what I mean? A person's not going to see a white person and think, oh yeah, they're Polish. No, because you know what? Yeah,
it's, you know what? It's not even
nobody
in movies. Yeah, in movies. Yeah,
Madeinpari. Most of these guys are on the ends. Yeah, trying to get out. Like they're victims of the life that they've been placed in, and they're just trying to get out. And maybe the only way out for them, based on their environment, because society and environment plays a big role in the influences that a person has in it. Your education at home is one, your education at school is another, and your education on the roads is another one too. Do you get what I'm saying? So most of these guys, look at all of these big black stars that we have from our own ends anyway, from the south of London. They've all.
Do you know what? It's funny you say that, because even look at the way black women are portrayed in movies and stuff like that. Like, it's rare that you see a black woman given some position of power. They always look crazy. The crazy baby mum, the party goer. Do you know what I'm saying? The girl.
Or she's the black woman with a white husband.
The white husband, and you know, it's like, you know what I'm saying, like the stereotype.
Or she's a black woman in a position of power, but she's single.
She's single, they're single, yeah.
If she's in a position of power, at the end of it all, she falls off. At some point. Like, what the hell?
They won't let us be great. We can't be great.
But the UK needs to stop that, though, man. Producers.
I think that even in America you see that, because most of the movies come from America. But I'm saying even in the UK, like when you look at the productions, like I said, there was even an actor from Blue Story. I think is it from Blue Story?
Michael Ward.
No, one of the actors came on social media and he was basically saying like, listen, he's had enough. He's had enough. Like,
his name was he?
I forgot his name, bro.
I can't remember.
He's from Blue Story.
I know what he's talking about.
He was Jason. No, he came out. No. You're bugging. He's bugging. No, he came out and said he's had enough. He said he's had enough of being represented as a drug dealer. You know, in the end of it, you get stabbed. And we always speak a certain way. I'm thinking, wow, the other day I see on BBC, you got a brother from Brixton who's now a barrister. You know what I'm saying? You can tell stories like that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's important. When a young man's watching TV, you know, that has a psychological effect. Do you know what I'm saying? And do you think, obviously, that's impacting some of our young people today?
Of course.
You know, do you think that's having
we need more of that, though.
People have a connotation on Croydon and Brixton and all of these names of these ends, because these ends are the ends that are represented.
But you know what? A lot of these things as well are like it's pressure that we put on ourselves. Like, for example, people would like all of these things that are shown on TV. Our kids will watch it, and then before they know it, they're growing up saying things like, I don't know, bruv, I don't know. And then, you know, it's now like someone who speaks properly is frowned upon. And you sound white. Yeah, you sound white. Oh my God. You know, I'm well spoken. I sound white. I said only white people are well spoken. That is so annoying. That's so annoying. That was such a
frustrates me. People that cannot switch their dialect, bruv. When they're amongst people.
Yeah, don't have to, like.
But you have. It makes the thing is, GK, do you have to though? Why can't you do yourself? Do you have to?
Wait.
Are you going to go in somewhere? Are you going to go like amongst people of high status or something and speak? Yeah, obviously you know what I mean, innit?
Listen, I have one brother like that at uni. I have one guy like that at uni.
That's how they speak. But then again,
do you know what Jay-Z said? Jay-Z said, just be yourself. He walked in the room and he was himself. He didn't change for anyone.
Yeah, but Jay-Z is a man of stature. It's different.
Jay-Z's
a different man of stature.
Ask Jay-Z when he's in those business meetings, he's sitting there.
He's not talking like that.
Of course he's not.
He's not.
So what you are saying? But is that not compromising though? Like who we are?
It's just adapting to your environment. It's just like you wouldn't go to Mecca or Hajj or go to Saudi Arabia or Dubai and you wouldn't do that.
Sorry, was that? Sorry.
You're wearing shorts.
Like Bango coupe.
Right. So you know on this Congo thing. That's what I was just saying.
You
wouldn't go Congo bongo thing.
You wouldn't go there like with like a revealing top showing your nipples.
You would abide and
respect and adhere to your environment. Just like you would go into a job interview and you wouldn't go there with a tracksuit on with your boxers hanging out. No, exactly. You would be tidy. School, you're ambassadors of where you go. Like you're ambassador of yourself.
I feel like it's also a choice because you have, for example, someone might say it's just the area that I grew up in. That's how we talk in it. But when you go to school and stuff, Is that how you're? That's not how you're taught to speak. You are taught English. You are taught how to properly articulate yourself. You are taught how to properly present yourself. But you choose to pick up the language. But
I speak like how my environment raised me. Maybe that's how they feel.
Because that's how you've chosen.
I can speak my street too.
There's people who have grown up in the. You can have two people grown up in the same environment. You've gone to school. You've been educated. You know how to carry yourself. You know how to speak. But you have people who purposely choose to speak in that way because they feel like, I'm not gonna sound. That's for the white people. Them. I'm not gonna sound like that.
You know, speak like that till this day. Just talk like that.
But you know what? That also
goes to sound white.
That also goes.
English is English.
That also goes to show, like this on this topic that we're talking about like how black people are represented. Yeah, you feel like for you to be a black person. Or for people to acknowledge you as a black person, you need to go in there and be like, honestly, I'm going to do my presentation. And it's a bit mad car, this thing there. I don't know. More time, people.
More time.
Has that ever happened? I'm glad you bought that. We represented.
I was just saying that we don't. We do it to ourselves. You're educated. We've all gone to school. Education is free in this country. Unless you're not in this country, then I can't speak for it. But education is free in this country. Even uni, some of us have never paid back our student loan. So let's not even lie. Yeah. So
uni in France is free.
We're all moving to France.
Uni in Paris as well.
So it's like we do it to ourselves. Where it's like I go to my workplace and I know that one thing though I will say is that I do feel like in a corporate environment anyway, when you're good at your job, you're good at your job. Do you know what I mean? They might not like you as a black person, but they know that Eunice is, she's the go-to person for that. And they will give you accolades because of that. Do you know what I mean? They will give you that.
Diligent.
But they might not involve you in their corporate whatever, but they give you that. Do you know what I'm saying? So now there's people like Rena Mimi was saying, people who choose to be dumb, and you think that is a representation of being black. But you're late every day. What? That man contracted me.
Living up to the stereotype.
And then when they speak to you, it's what? Is it because I'm black? No, it's because you're late. Like you're just late. It's not because you're black.
We need to start throwing that card in sometimes.
That. Do you know what? It's mad.
I just say we're crabs in a bucket, man.
What are you trying to say? What's that mean, man?
Putting me back.
So basically,
It's putting me back.
When one person tries to get out, we just drag each other down.
Yeah,
like,
we do.
Basically saying, you can't get out of here if I'm not getting out of here.
Alright, go on.
Yeah, go on.
No, go on.
You're right.
No, you go on.
GK wanted to speak. Go on.
No, what was I even going to say again? Yeah, we kind of need to stop throwing that card in. Like, is it because I'm black? No, it's not because you're black. It's just because you're just behaving in a way that's making them kind of
rugrats.
Unorderly fashion.
It's mad, you know.
We
have these stereotypes that gets us like black people don't know time and like.
And you turn up late.
Yeah, word. And like you'll throw a party and you have to lie or you have to lie about your time on the invitation because black people don't respect things, and it's like no, not all black people are like that. Like some black people actually respect. And then so I feel like it's like what you were saying, that the hypochondriacs thing where you start. Like everybody just finds these stereotypes are okay, so now we believe
so
in
much that you see it everywhere now. Like it's like
and it's just totally like it's like the norm now, and I feel like that's where we need to be changing.
So
that card around.
I'll read this quickly. Yeah. So we are represented in the media horribly. Only terrorists are represented as badly. We are shown as sexy, dangerous, and exotic. We are either guilty or victims, and if we are victims, is another black man's hand. You've got entire TV channels set up to celebrate everything that is bad in our community. I despair. These portrayals, black men and women believe that's what they are. So that's from Bailey, cited in Bay, Brown, and Henry. So this is just a thing that I took from Google when I was looking at colorism and seeing that, the impact that it had. And basically what you're saying that, is what you lot all been saying. Like, we are portrayed in a certain way, which then means black people then start psychologically, they just believe that, we're always late. Even if you're not even going to make an effort because you believe that that's who you are and that's what you are. And the only representation we have, as GK said, is about stabbing. It's either like you're some youth worker. Like I'm talking about out of all the careers that there is in the world, we've never really seen a movie where, you know, it's portraying, even like Will Smith, you know, one of the greatest movies that he's done. Man had to struggled 55, you know, he had to go through a madness to reach his. I'm like, no, but there's people that actually.
Wasn't that based on a true story though?
It's based on a true story, but then again, that proved my point. Like, there's actually not every black people actually have to kind of struggle to get there. There are people who actually just, you know, dedicate themselves to say, you know what, I'm going to achieve this and I'm going to beat the stereotype. And I think
and some black people are born into these families where they have money. So
exactly.
It's almost like when a black person who has money and who has that comfortability in their life and they're stable, everybody looks at them like, bro, what is your
you know what? When you see that on social media, it's like, oh, what, he's doing fraud, he's doing this and that. You know what I'm trying to say?
Personal experience, yeah. One of my old managers dropped me home one time,
and he saw where you live.
Said, "Oh,
you live here.
It's a nice area. What was you expecting?"
No, yeah.
I don't know. It's just.
I was gonna say
it's
HR.
Not rough.
It's not even working.
You should have gone to HR. You should. You didn't go HR.
I would have slapped.
I'm not gonna lie.
I resigned.
No, but you know what? It's like it's even like when you come here, the stereotype is like, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, you're meant to be a cleaner, you're meant to do so. These sort of
nothing wrong with that.
No, what I'm trying to say, there's nothing wrong with that. We need the cleaners, we need the refuse collectors and stuff like that.
Here in the UK, it's not really like that. No.
What I'm trying to say about why keep us in that bracket? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Why can't you do you know how many black, when you go to the NHS, you don't see, when you look around, the workers aren't necessarily just, you know, it's the minority. So why don't do a movie based on that? Why don't do a movie based on the black barrister and things like that? Because that's making me think the only way I'm going to be successful is if I'm either playing football or I'm a rap artist.
Did you read the two black lawyers that walked into a court of law and they were asked?
I saw that. That was a mad thing.
Do you know what?
That was a mad thing.
These things, are real, and you know, colorism is more than real, but like I said, when the bit that we can control, you can control yourself. You can't control what other people are doing. But I see things like, for example, we live in a country where, listen, you've got a system that works for certain people. There's people milking this system and making a jolly good living out of it, That's their business. But I've got black people that come on the internet talking about things like, you know, I've seen it a few times on my timeline. Oh my gosh, I just thank God for what he's done for me. I can't believe it, coming from a council flat with my mom. Are you mad? It's the same white people that are buying those council flats that we are renting from. So you now have a council flat. Why can't you think big? Why is it a problem?
No one knows what investment is.
In a council flat. It's investment.
No one knows what investment is.
People are actually saying, I don't know why I'm in a council flat. Like, oh my gosh, I thank God someone got me. God got me out of there. Excuse me?
Say,
you're mad. You are actually
I understand
mad.
some people, it's like, okay, whatever. Look where I came from, a council
because we don't really know people suffering. It's true.
But
what are you gloating
how can
about?
I put this? How can I think someone else speak, because I'm trying to reason. I'm trying to think.
I'm basically trying to say there is nothing wrong. Yeah, listen, there is nothing wrong. In fact, for some people, it's the easiest way to get onto the property ladder. It goes back to educate yourself. You've got that council property. I've seen people that are in like massive 5-bedroom council properties, and they're saying, I'm gonna give it back because I'm gonna buy something.
That's crazy.
Are you mad?
So what you saying, they should buy that first?
Buy that property.
Why would you not?
Laughing.
Would it be cheaper to get that first?
Of course it'd be cheaper.
Like you get discounts.
Because you get discounts and like you've already built a relationship with the council at that point, so you're already trustworthy. So
listen, these things are there for the taking.
Yeah, they're
so on that, then you talk about gentrification. Sometime some part of it, do you think we're part to blame for allowing this to happen?
We are, and I feel like I can only speak for the Congolese community.
People like to listen to other people.
I can only speak for the Congolese community.
This one's deep.
It is almost taboo. For anybody to even dare thinking about owning anything before they're in their husband's house.
What, in the Congolese community?
In the Congolese, I can only speak for our people because I'm not. Can
you speak for
anything.
the Ghanaian community?
You know, it's almost taboo. you are born, you eat, you go from your father's house to your husband's house. There's no chance for investment. If you're going to invest, you go and invest with your husband. There is no encouragement of somebody being an individual. And then it's almost like us black girls or Congolese girls, all we have to think about is marriage. So your whole life, you're like, I'm going to school. I'm talking about marriage. I don't know if it's the same in Ghana. Like, is it?
No, yeah, it is pretty much the same. For example, for me, I'm told that I'm not allowed to leave my house until I get married. Yeah. But my plan is to not do that. I want to at least have something for myself before I enter a marriage. Because a man can just leave, move kids. No, so I feel like it should be encouraged to.
I like it.
It should be encouraged for our daughters to at least have something of their own.
And not depend on man.
And not depend on And I feel like that's what we've been taught. But yeah.
And it's all it is encouraging independence, raising a generation of strong black women that can stand on their own 2 feet. No, we're not going to talk about the men because in a Congolese household, it's okay for a man to move out. It is.
Yeah. Okay.
I can only speak for the girls because it's not okay for a girl to move out.
But you know what?
It's frowned upon because.
Can we talk about ownership?
They think that all you're going to do is, excuse my French, that you're going out there to sleep with guys. Your house is gonna be a playground. Yeah, your house is gonna be a playground for guys. But excuse me.
But why would you have that image of your daughter anyway?
When there are white girls, our age mates, white girls, Asian girls that are out there owning properties. White girls, Asian girls that have ownership. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's crazy, man. I've never agreed to that idea. I think it's absolutely insane.
I hear it. I fully hear it.
I think it's absolutely insane.
Yeah, I mean, what was you saying about Congolese people and that?
I think Congolese people, the older generation of Congolese people have absolutely lost it.
So
it's narrow. It's very narrow-minded.
Why are you not getting onto them?
No. We need to.
We're not getting onto them. I think they're done well.
Do you know what it is? I just feel like we have a communication issue between the two generations.
Hold on that. Unique had a point that she was making.
I think this is the problem. Yeah, we need to understand. Like, I respect the older generation, and I think that there's definitely a lot of knowledge that we can take from them. Agreed. But I do think that, I do acknowledge that it is hard to unlearn certain things that you've known for 50 odd years. Yeah,
but there are some things you can take away from them though.
That's what I just said. We can learn some things from
them. They done well though, man. They came here like, come on.
Yeah, that's the thing though. They came here, so we must understand that they've come here to integrate. That means that there's not a lot of unlearning to do. There's just a lot of adapting to do. And adapting means when you come and you have children and you reproduce offspring in this country, and we are raised now in this this two worlds that we have Congo at home, England, Uganda. It's a bit. I think
quickly, because obviously you're into that industry, Unique. What was you saying about ownership and all of that and everything? There?
I think about ownership. Listen, I would even say if you're lucky enough to be able to get your hands on a council property, and that property gives you, and you can get the right to buy on that property. Buy it.
Is that like a mortgage scheme? Is that like a scheme? What's a right to buy?
A right to buy is basically you've lived in your council property for a certain amount of time. You now have the right to buy that property. So you can apply to your council to say, listen, I would like to buy the property that I live in. Not all council properties have them, and not all housing association properties have them. So check with your council.
It's worth asking.
Check with your housing association. And I've been in the industry for a while now, and sometimes I will. As a lettings officer, you'll be, talking to people, talking to clients and stuff like that. And the first thing they will ask you, this is someone who's on benefits, someone who doesn't seem to, on paper, be able to afford the property, but they will ask you, does it have right to buy? Right? And these are the Asian communities that I see it in. One person really, literally, they were on the waiting list for a very long time. Eventually, it's come round to it, and we've offered them a property. They literally turned it down because it didn't have right to buy.
Oh, so for real?
It's not the council property.
We have to think
ahead, think big, yeah, right. Listen, I'm gonna be in this house for a couple of years, yeah. It works for me. You can do whatever you want to do to it and stuff like that. A few years time, acquire that property. You're now on the property ladder. You can move on, go find another property. That house is just there. building money for you. It's collecting money. When you're ready, you can sell it. You can even sell it back to the council.
People always want to buy a house that they're going to stay in, so no one really thinks about investment properties.
Because
There's
too much different things you can do. That's what it is. You can buy a property to rent it out and make money from that. You can buy a property and live in it. It's entirely up to you. Exactly. But don't limit yourself to thinking, oh, listen, I'm gonna.
People just need to
like
educate
I said,
themselves.
there's people who have literally owned, like lived in 5 bedrooms, yeah.
Well, that's a personal experience. You know that.
Sick location. Yeah? I know people like this, like sick location and everything, right? And because you've had this pressure of, especially in the Congolese community, mortgage. I look at mortgage. So you, without educating yourself, you're just thinking,
whether it's feasible.
I can't buy this council house. I have to now move out of this house and go buy a next house. Listen, you could have bought that 5 bedroom at a discounted price, and then still had enough money to later on in a few years buy something for yourself and your family that is comfortable.
Oh, what, you like that?
And stuff like that.
Because it's so much cheaper to buy.
With anything, really, educate yourself. And please. But in order for us to get there anyway, our Congolese parents need to allow us to move out. Let us acquire those properties. Let us think outside the box. Let us enlarge our mindsets. Think outside and expand, explore life.
Be responsible.
And trust that you've educated us enough for us to leave our homes and still be respectful young ladies and respectful young men.
Agreed.
Literally, like just let our people go.
I think to add on to that as well, like obviously there's many speaking for the girls would want to move out, but don't be stupid and think you can move out if you can't even manage money in your parents' house.
That's it. Yeah.
If you're that type of person, just forget it. Just forget it, and you better wait.
Don't be mad. You might as well, because
the marriage is
money management. Money management. You need to get that.
And what we also need to remember
is that
marriage is not the marriage isn't the key. Not every. It's some certain things in life aren't for everyone. Marriage is not going to be a path for
marriage.
Everybody.
Won't fix your problems. It will only magnify them.
Ooh. But then this is what I'm saying is obviously. What I just want to say is, if you've got the idea, in a nutshell, if you've got the idea, if you have a plan of moving out,
make sure
that you are able to handle that,
responsible,
and make sure that you're a responsible person. Your mind is set up straight, and don't do it in a way where you're you're leaving your parents' house angry at them or holding some sort of grudge.
You're doing it on
because those
just
things
showing
are
off.
real. Yeah, just do it with a pure heart and say to yourself, you're doing this with good intentions, not with intentions of I'm leaving because my parents are pissing me off or this. Do it with good intentions and
responsible intentions, like prepare, plan for like rainy days and stuff, because it's not easy.
Every day it rains.
I think it's not easy.
I was saying that to say that it is a possibility, and if you are in a position where you can, and I'm saying to the parents, if your child is in a position where they can, they have proven to be responsible. Let them do it.
But that's that. Do you know what? It's funny you said that, because this comes under the bracket of representation, isn't it? If they haven't seen it happening, how are they going to know that this is a thing?
You have to trust that you've educated me enough.
Some people's parents,
some point you're gonna have to let me go.
Yeah, but some people's
parents. What I'm saying is, you're obviously sorry, Madeinpari. I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to go unique. I'm going to throw the ball back at unique quickly. But I'm saying we was talking about representation, right? And how the media has portrayed things a certain way, and obviously that's filtered down to the community. A lot of the stuff that you're saying, these people aren't educated because these are learned behaviors. They've learned it as a community. They've done no research and stuff like that. So that's what I'm saying. Shouldn't we have representation? But you know what? I'm not gonna lie. Nowadays in 2021, I do get it. You don't really have an excuse, because there's a lot of ways you can gain knowledge. There's this page I follow, Boss Tips, I think, or something like that, and he does. I have to give him a shout out because he's amazing. Bricks by. I have to give him a shout out. Sorry guys, bear with me. I have to give him a shout out because you know what? I learned so much. Bricks with tips with Z at the end. Bricks with tips is a black man, black couple, and they go around giving advice on mortgages and how you can be, become property owners, and they show you different aspects. They show you
Lewis does a show on
they show you the affordable and the top end and all of that. So I'm thinking, what I'm going to say is that though, don't you think in our community, this is because this is all that generation learned, so they're just passing it on to us.
But I acknowledge that. I don't agree with that. I said it's definitely hard to unlearn certain things that you've known, especially something that you've known for like 50 years. I'm at my age today. I'm trying to unlearn certain things that I've been taught that I know that are definitely not correct. And just in the name of culture, let's not encourage stupidness in the name of culture. Let's not encourage dumbness.
Help someone out, innit?
Stupid things in the name of culture.
Like something.
Like this thing that we're talking about, like the moving out thing. Let's not encourage people to just be in a small box in the name of culture. In our culture, people don't move out. I don't care. Is your culture gonna buy me a house?
I think if you do everything in the name of culture, you would not advance, bro.
Do you know what I mean? Nobody's disrespecting you.
You would not
Obviously,
advance.
like Rena Mimi said, have
Culture's
the conversation in a mature way. Nobody's sending you to go and disrespect your parents, but you can sit your parents down. And
that's why I said that we have a break of communication.
Hopefully, they will understand
between
where
the two
you can
generations.
sit them down and say,
"There's a problem.
Listen, this is what I want to do, and this is my reasons." And as parents as well, you need to be open to be able to listen to your child, because the last thing you want to do is be the person that is standing in the way of your child's destiny. Don't do that.
That's culture.
I think that always goes back to I'm gonna have to bring a Bible verse into this. This Bible verse that talks about children obey your parents, blah blah blah. But why do they always ignore the verse that comes after? Parents, do not irritate your children. Why is that one not so emphasized on?
Because you are.
And this is not even to be rebellious or to say I'm going to start disrespecting my parents. No, it's reality and it's life. There are certain things that parents do that push their children to be the way that they are.
Yeah, and make some mad choices.
100%.
That make them make mad choices. Because if, as I'm coming to tell you about, for example, what I want to do, like, for example, let's use the African, where, for example, the common example is, I like cooking, I want to take on cooking lessons. What's good? Is cooking going to pay the bills? Is being a chef going to pay the bills?
It's a problem until you actually start making money from it. You know my daughter, she's a cook, you know.
Exactly. Things like that. It's like, mate,
you know.
It's
but
like
that's the ignorant side of it, though.
It's like as the years are going, as time is evolving, certain things are to be left behind. I'm not saying cancel out everything that
but evolution happens.
There are some things to keep taking with us, and there are some things that we need to say to ourselves, listen, this in this day and age right now can't work, because
and it's
things that we were doing back in 2005
we're not going to happen here. 2021. So we don't pay to get on buses no more.
We don't wear boot cuts.
Cashless.
Exactly.
Do you get it? We don't wear boot cuts.
So certain things.
For some.
And I'll just say with those things, it's a serious conversation, and I feel like a lot. And I'm gonna speak again. I'm not saying this is everyone, but some. It's like there are certain conversations that, as children, you may sometimes feel like you don't want to have with your parents because you are scared of what their reaction is going to be. But that shouldn't be the case.
It's disrespectful to speak to parents about certain things. There's too much taboo subjects, and we have to break that.
It's disrespectful to talk about sex. That is a reality
and
of life.
These are the taboos that are causing girls to be in dangerous situations. It's true though.
They act like they don't know it's happening. They act like they don't know that people are.
How did we get here?
We even have a Congolese proverb, which basically translates to say that a child can beat a drum and an adult can dance. So that means,
but never.
They don't acknowledge that.
It's like as a child, you can say. As a child, you can say something, right? And I'm not disregarding. And no one should, I'm not disregarding that. Like, if you're a parent watching this, I'm not saying that we should totally cancel out everything parents say. No, and of course there's a certain wisdom that comes, and I will always go back to the Bible for me. As it says, yes, obey your parents. There are certain things your parents are always right on because they've had the experience and the wisdom and whatever. But there are also certain things. It's like, especially in this day and age, I'm a person of this generation. I have more knowledge in certain fields about things going on now. I should be able to come to you and tell you about educate you about that field that you're not aware of. Same way, there are certain things that obviously because you are older, you have lived life before me, you are aware of that you can tell me that I don't know about.
Right.
So we need to like
perfect example.
This adult and parent.
Smartphones. Who do the parents come and ask for help for? They come to ask us.
This parent and adult thing is like I think we should just try to be able to have
and get pissed when you don't remember their password.
And to
do you know what? It's funny you say that. Do you know what?
How you mad that I don't know your password, bro? What the hell? It's your password.
No,
do you know what?
It's my birthday.
Albert Bandura's social learning theory highlights the impact of how observing others' attitudes, behaviors, and emotions towards a particular subject or group molds an individual's attitude, behaviors, emotions, and in turn responses to the environment. That's Bandura 1997. You can read that.
What's that?
What's that?
So this is about learning. As Renan Mimi said, the psychology about learning behaviors. You know what I'm saying? So like she's saying she can teach you a lot about what she's going through now. And then they can talk to us about what they went through, but like I said, we need to understand that.
I keep going back to the communication side of it, and I
say all of that's communication.
This needs a whole different topic.
What you say? We're gonna cover that.
This is a series.
Recently,
this is a series part 3 too.
Recently, I've literally I'm going through a little readjustment of certain things that have been taught and stuff like that. You're
unlearning to learn.
I'm unlearning certain things because they're just long.
Or if anything, you're learning it for yourself.
A lot of our generation, a lot of our parents have raised depressed, stressed out, messed up, suppressed, broken children.
Lost people
and you've just released them into the community. And then now girls are having to deal with broken men and trauma and all of those past traumas, and guys are having to deal with females that are broken, suppressed, and all of that. Sometimes.
But you saying our parents to blame for all that?
I've got nothing to.
I won't say to blame. I won't say blame the parents. I'll say educate them.
Educate and learn to talk. That's what I'm saying. Communication is a real issue. I keep going back to that word because it's very important, and I feel like the breakdown of communication is the reason why. If we spoke about things a lot more, these issues would be dealt with much better in our community, and we would heal from these things.
Yeah, alright. So it sounds like we got a topic for next time then, yeah. So next one we're gonna cover Myrna Mimi go on then. So you started all of this. This is on you about unlearning all these behaviors thing. Yeah, it's you unique. You lot started this whole madness.
I think we should tackle communication between parent and children. Communication between parent and children, because a lot of things that I'm not generalizing, I'm saying for some, you have just, for example, if you actually sit and think and have a reflection and reflect upon your life, a lot of things you've been doing because that's all you've ever known. Right. That's all you've ever known. It's just like going to church, yeah? From when you were born to, let's say, the age of however old you are now, you've only been going to church because that's all you've known. Right. But you never actually know why you go to church. Like, you've never understood it for yourself. So it comes to a point in life where you actually think to yourself, listen, I want to do this for myself and understand it for myself.
You have to do
for
that.
Real.
You have to do that.
And you have to learn to make your own mistakes, basically, and our parents need to allow us.
So we don't say the communication between the old generation and the new generation.
Between the two generations.
JK, you're like the latest of this new generation. We said definitely something that's you've been impacted on.
Yeah, man. I mean, like I said, the parents. Like I said before, I said this in an earlier episode. I said, the parents aren't entirely to blame. You got to take what they've learned and then try to put it into today's system, and also teach them about how things run today.
Household's different.
Yeah, like it's true, because even like things like ownership, like Unique said, some parents wouldn't know about these things unless you teach them, or they know they need to acquire a house, but they don't know the process of getting a mortgage. You don't know they need some power.
You can't teach people who don't want to listen.
They don't want to listen.
So if they don't want to listen, how are you supposed to educate?
If you don't want to listen, then that's fine.
This sounds deep.
And the majority,
sounds like
there's a minority of us who come from homes where we have we come from a good home environment where we can speak with our parents, and we're
a lot of people can't.
And there's honesty, but there's a lot of people
that
who don't have that.
That's fine.
And they can't even sit in the same room as their parents.
Yeah.
If you don't want to listen, then you clearly.
So like now it's that we have to start breaking that and allowing parents to. Sometimes medicine doesn't taste nice. But
this sounds like a big one. This sounds like it needs its own platform and its own conversation.
It needs a series.
All right, listen, people. It's been a real one. Hey, listen, give a round of applause for Madeinpari, man. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
All right, man. Listen, everyone, shout out.
man.
Make sure you click that subscribe button. Make sure you comment. Make sure you share. More importantly, share that and give us feedback. You know, obviously, we're gonna cover this topic that Raina, Mimi, and Unique has started. You know, it's a big one, and hopefully, we're gonna have someone from the older generation, the previous generation before us to come and cover it. But listen, it's been a pleasure. Like each and every time, make sure you watch this. You know, watch it to the max and let us know what you think. We're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube, obviously, and yeah, let us know. It's been a pleasure. Pardon? Okay, Niv wants to sign out with a song, but yeah, I think we'll do that next time because it's Be My Guest Radio. Oh yeah, right, yeah, okay,
Yeah, right, mate.
Good. Yeah. Alright, peace out, A-Town now. We're going. Alright, then shout out everyone, man. Make sure you subscribe, follow, like, yeah. Take care, man.
Oh yeah, take it.
I know. Just before that, you know, I'm trying to, you know, as they're letting us out, GK, what are you saying? You got the workouts on deck?
Yo, I was just gonna let you know that, bruv. Tomorrow, Monday the 22nd, 6 p.m. and Nab's workout is going on YouTube.
At the same time as Be My Guest, yeah. But after
exercise, man.
If you're watching it today, this is Monday. Yeah, Monday. Go at 6 p.m. Go on YouTube.
After you finish watching Be My Guest,
Yeah, after you finish watching Be My Guest, get up.
large up.
Go to my channel.
Listen, one thing. Follow everyone here on the Instagram and make sure you subscribe to their YouTube channels as well. Unique got a YouTube channel. GK got a YouTube channel. JK got a YouTube channel. That's called Naughty's Network. You know, he's got a clothing brand. Madeinpari is on Instagram as well, so follow her.
D-Tresses as well.
D-Tresses. So add to
Summer's coming. Spring's coming.
Stand up, show Uncle your shirt.
Alright, what are you saying? Is that one of your collections? Is that one of your collections? Yo, JK, come again. Model that again. Move to your right a little bit.
Show Uncle your shirt.
Summer's coming.
A t-shirt there for summer. Yeah.
Check out Carts Apparel.
Done now. Yeah. This is behind the scene work. It's pure vibes only.
And make sure you tune in on Cal's Fit at 6 p.m. though for your abs.
Make sure you're subscribed to
abs.
Unique.
And I've got another video out as well. Yeah, from last week.
No, that's what it is. That's real love. The Be My Guest show family showing love to each and every one of the panelists here, man. It is what it is, yeah. We'll see you next time.
If you're trying to get fit, come, bruv.
Au revoir.
Au revoir. Right.
Oh my God.
That's for uncle. That's for uncle.
That's giving me
Keep dancing. That's for uncle. Keep dancing for uncle. Show uncle what you do.